I'm so happy you found Virago 24/7. If you love this podcast, please go to wherever you're listening and rate the show. 5 stars would be very much appreciated. I wouldn't mind a review as well. And also, don't forget to share this podcast with your friends. Today's show is sponsored by the Healing Life Institute, where they're passionate about your personal growth and healing. They offer support and guidance to help you discover your inner strength and move into a more authentic and vibrant way of living. Go to healinglifeinstitute.org and enter promo code Virago10 for 10% off services. Last week on episode 32, we talked about the Myers Brigg personality test. It's made up of 16 personalities that we can all fall under. And towards the end of the conversation, I asked a question about Kaylin and me, and that led us down another path, a very, very therapeutic path. Since I've been learning more about myself and, letting go of some baggage that I've been holding on to, I've also been wanting to make sure that I have a connection with my kids and that I learn what makes them tick. I think sometimes we think we know, but it's important to hear from them ourselves and from our children directly. Kaylin and I have had similar conversation on episode 31, and we've also had some private conversations about some things. As parents, I feel it's so important to hear what our children have to say, as painful as it can be or may be. In any relationship, it's when we get down to the dirty, messy details. That's where we'll find, common ground and new beginnings. And I'm learning with all 3 of my children, who, by the way, have very different personalities. I've learned to meet them where they are and to be mindful that they're living their own individual lives, filled with their own emotions and their own feelings. I think as adults, sometimes we forget how it was and how it felt to be a child. And for some of us not to be heard the way we wanted to. At this point in my life, I don't care how uncomfortable I need to feel in order to, come to some kind of breakthrough with my children. I need them to know that I'm here and that I'm a safe place. And really with any relationship, it's all about keeping the conversation, flowing. I read this article and it's called "A Therapist Shares the 7 Biggest Parenting Mistakes That Destroy Kids' Mental Strength." I felt they were very powerful, so I wanted to share, because I think sometimes we just say things and do things without really truly realizing how impactful our words can be. So the first one that says minimizing your kids' feelings. That's a mistake that we do. Kids need to know, this is what the article says, that it's healthy to express and talk about their emotions. And when parents tell their kids things such as, don't be so sad about it, or it's not that big of a deal, they're sending the message that feelings don't matter and it's better to suppress them. It goes on to say, if your kid is displaying expressions of fear during a loud storm, for example, considering saying, I know you're scared right now, then ask them what they think would make them feel better. This teaches them how to manage and cope with emotions on their own. The second one is always saving them from failure. So that's a common mistake. As parents, it's hard to watch our children struggle through challenges that we know we can easily fix for them. That is one of my biggest things that I do. Oh, it's been hard, but I'm trying. It says failure is a big part of success. If kids are never given the chance to learn the lessons that come with failure, they'll never develop the perseverance they need to rise back up after a setback. And this one actually hits home so much, because there's certain things that I say that I don't realize how impactful they are. So I always tell Kaylin, now that she's driving and she's out of the house and she's off to college, she's on her own. I say this when we leave, I say, I love you, be careful, make good choices. And I don't know where I got that from, but I've been saying it for the past, 2, 3, 4 years. And the last time I said it, which was, I believe it was last month, it didn't feel right with me. I said it and she left and she's like, yeah, Mom, I know. I'm like, why do I say that? And I shouldn't say that ever again. And I don't know where it came from. It just came out of nowhere. I'm like, I should never say that again, because it's teaching her to feel like there are only right choices. And that if you do make, quote unquote, a bad choice or a mistake, that your world will fall apart. And as adults, we know, if we've gone through any failure, I know for me personally, any of my failures, any mistakes, any, setbacks, I've always learned from them and I've grown from them and they've taught me things. So of course we want the same for our kids. Yeah, it sucks to see them, quote unquote, fail or quote unquote make poor decisions, which I think I'm saying quote unquote because I feel like it's such a negative in our society when it shouldn't be. We learn, we grow from those things, and it's just a matter of making sure that our kids are learning from those things, from those mistakes. So her and I had this conversation. She called me recently, this month actually, and I told her, we're just talking about a few things. And once you listen to this podcast, you'll see that I'm learning just to sit still, listen, and not give too much input. So this is one of those nights where she called and I was just listening to her. And I told her, I was like, you know what? I am so sorry that I say make good choices. I'm like, I'm going to stop saying that. Take it away from your brain, erase it from your memory, because you need to go out there and just do what you think is best. And if it happens not to be the best choice, you learn, you grow, you move on. So, and the reason I say that to her is because she is so focused on doing the right things and making the right, quote unquote, right choices, that she has a hard time deciding, or she feels guilty for deciding one way or the other. And I know that about her. And in talking to her more in the past few months, I'm learning that very much about her. And when I said that, she said, "Thank you so much, Mom. You don't even know how much that means." It's okay to correct things that you've been doing, and it's okay to acknowledge. And I feel like our kids appreciate that I'm seen, I'm being heard. And, that's what I got from that conversation. We hung up feeling both, she said she was happy that she called, and I listened. And sometimes it's hard to listen to things that maybe we feel like we've put on our kids and we made mistakes in raising them. And it's hard to hear, but we have to just soak it in, acknowledge, and move forward. So that one hit really, really close to home, making failures and being okay with that. So yes, I am working on it. The next one is overindulging your kids, which we all know, what that means. It says kids love stuff and parents love giving it to them. But research shows that when you give your kids whatever they desire, they miss out on skills related to mental strength, such as self-discipline. The fourth one is expecting perfection, which I think kind of goes hand in hand with number 3. So it says, setting the bar too high can lead to self-esteem and confidence issues later in life. Build mental strength in your kids by making sure expectations are realistic. And even if your kids don't meet them, the setbacks they face will teach them valuable life lessons and how to succeed the next time around. So that's why I felt like it goes hand in hand with number 3, which I am working on. Number 5 is making sure they always feel comfortable. Don't really need to explain. And 6, not setting parent-child boundaries. It says you want your kids to make their own decisions, but they also need to know that you're the boss. And the last one I love, it says not taking care of yourself. So as moms, it says not taking care of yourselves. The older we get, the harder it becomes to maintain healthy habits, like eating healthy, exercising daily, taking time to restore. And that's why it's important to model self-care habits for your kids. And it goes on to say, it's also critical to practice healthy coping skills in front of your children. For example, if you're stressed about work, consider telling your child, I had a very tiring day at work and I'm going to relax with a tea and a book. So I like that one too, because it shows that, mom and dad go through their own struggles and then they can see us coming with solutions, and they don't feel like they're alone in their feelings. So I really loved that one. Like I said, I am working on all of these, and it's always great to read these kinds of advice and kinds of articles. And it's also good to hear from a therapist, and especially from your child directly. So I want you all to come eavesdrop on this conversation that I had with Kaylin, my oldest, who is 20 years old, and therapist from the Healing Life Institute, Bridgette Morris, and her son, David Smith. We talk about anxiety, depression, how I can listen better as a parent and not want to fix the problem. That's my biggest thing that I'm working on, not feeling like I have to fix it. Because that's what we all want to do as parents, is fix, for the most of us. So anyways, listen to the show. Thank you for being here with me. Hi, I am your host, Kaylin Talley, and you are listening to Virago 24/7. Virago is Latin for female warrior, and 24/7 is for all day, every day. Virago 24/7 is a weekly podcast that brings diverse women together to talk about life and our experiences in this world. We share our views on self-love, mental health, marriage, children, friendships, and really anything that needs to be talked about. Here, you will find everyday growth, everyday healing with everyday warriors. Just give me my space to move, 'cause it's my thoughts, what I want, and I want what I want. Since Kaylin and I are exactly the same, except for the T, she knows who she is, I don't. How is it good to be the same person, or okay? Because I feel like
same.
We mesh pretty well.
I'm like, but we don't balance each other out because we're this.
No, it's interesting.
I try to tell you we're the same.
Well, most of my friends
Hey, you're copying my personality. I was this personality first.
She's like, I know who I am. You're trying to think this.
You've only been this personality for a month. She's been that her whole life. So.
She's been like this for a while.
So most of my friends are intuitive feelers or diplomats. So we're all kind of diplomat-y.
Look, like my mom and I are exact opposites, but we work very well together. Like we work, she runs her business and I'm working in that business. Like, I mean, we've lived together, just me and her, for 10 plus years. I mean, it's just me and her is what I was meaning. And so like it's important. It can work. You can mesh the complete opposite personalities, but it's the fact that we understand our different personalities.
Yeah, ours are not an ideal.
Ours are very unideal
at all. We're probably the least ideal. However, we made it work just because I respected his extroversion and then I tried to respect his structure.
I understand the opposite thing. It's being the same.
Well, why would you think the same?
What are you trying to say?
Because then we're kind of thinking the same and feeling the same and maybe in similar moods at the same time. Like, definitely. We might be in sync, so then we're never balancing each other out because we're dealing with the same stuff at the same time.
Well, the interesting...
That's when I leave you alone and you leave me alone. We kind of...
I know, but as a mother, I still need to be like in it. But if I'm like feeling the same thing, I'm not.
Maybe that's another. Maybe that's another show.
Maybe you're an E now, not an I.
As her mother, you need to stay in your swim lane.
Well, no, as her mother, I feel like I have to, but I'm not. Like, I leave you alone. That's the thing. I'm like, am I leaving her too much alone? Am I not engaging to see where she is?
Well, so here's the thing: is she's that I. She's that introverted person who needs that time alone.
She stays in her room all the time.
And she probably does some of her best work when you leave her be. Not saying that you're not helpful to her, but it's more because parents will be like, oh, that my son is stuck in their room all day. Well, it's probably an introverted person. They're probably getting a lot more work done being in there versus being out with you guys.
And I'm great with that because I used to get in trouble for being in my room too much.
Yeah.
Like I was the moody little teenager or whatever. So it was the bad thing to be in my room. So with her, I let her, but then I'm like, am I not engaging enough? Should I go up there? But I understand that she needs to be up there. So I'm conflicted because I know that's your you time. But as a mother, I'm like, am I abandoning her? Does she need me while she's up there being an I?
I don't, but thank you.
Okay, we're good. Okay.
And that's great. That's why people...
Days, Davis, there's days where I don't see her, and she's in my house. I don't see her. I just let her be. And sometimes 2 days goes by, and I'm like, I just came to see if you're living. Right? I say that, and she's like, I'm alive. And I'm like, okay.
That's
just want to make sure you're breathing. As a mother, I should do this, right? But I get it. But then, it's...
Yeah, and it's okay to check up like every once, like just pop in, but let her. It's important that you know that she's an introvert though, which is great because if you have a mother or parent-child relationship where they don't understand that, then that's where you get into the. So you get people who are opposite. So luckily, you guys are both introverted. Yeah. So you guys got lucky.
I get it.
So you understand.
I'm like, can I come hang out in your room with you? This sounds glorious. Maybe I'm just jealous that she gets to do it. I have to be out in the world.
This is a good thing to know, Lynette.
But you're right, Dave. It is. It's harder when that person doesn't get you. And that's what I had growing up. They didn't understand.
Did you understand her more?
Yes.
Now that we know this?
Oh, yeah. No, and I've always understood. I get it. Yeah. But as the parent... Do I go and check on her, even though I know this is her happy place?
Do we want to ask her?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
She said no. She said no.
Ask me.
I'm about to throw this pen at her.
That's crazy.
Would you like to share your perspective?
Brett, can you tell me what my daughter is thinking?
She's right here.
Please tell me.
I was like, no offense to Davis, and I'm like, I just let him. I let it go off.
All right, Kaylin. Do you need me to come check on you?
Well, I mean, okay, so I think I'm kind of in the mindset of like the last podcast we were doing where I was saying, I kind of do my own thing a lot on my own, so I'm kind of used to it by now. So even when I think it's like one of those things where it's like, yeah, like if you were to, when I kind of get in like a bad place and I'm like, I can't communicate whatsoever. And it's because I'm so used to like doing it alone that like when someone comes, like literally anytime somebody asks like, what's wrong? I'm like, I can't, like, I'm a writer. I know myself. I know my feelings. I know how to articulate my feelings when I am in a good place. But when I'm not, I'm like, I just want, I can't communicate that. So I think it's usually, I've always been in the mindset where it's good to be left alone because that's just what I'm used to. I have been with some friends who have been like becoming my support system. So they've seen me when I get into bad moods and they'll just kind of like just be with me where I just never knew I needed that kind of comfort when,
That's awesome.
Well, I feel like when I do ask you, you can tell, like you act like you want to be left alone. And I know when I used to be in those places and even now I don't want people. And so that's why I leave you alone. But then I'm like, I need to check on her. And then when I do, you're like, well, I don't want to talk about it. So then I'm like, well, but I can't force you because I know that forcing you is going to make it worse.
Yeah.
So what is a mother to do?
Yeah. So that's kind of what I resolved myself is like, I know you don't understand how I work.
No, I do.
I know.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
I do understand how you work.
I know you think you do, but like...
Hold on, wait. This is good.
I do. Go ahead.
So what do you hear her saying?
That I don't understand her. And she says it all the time.
Right, but breathe there. Can you accept that?
No. Go ahead, though. I can accept it. No, I'll take it back. I can accept it.
I think you understand how my brain works. I don't think you don't know how what I need in those moments, if that makes sense. Okay. I don't think you understand what I need. And I think those are two different things. And so like, yes, you do understand me, but like
what do you need?
Damn. I just need comfort.
So when I go in and I ask you what
Like,
you need and you tell me nothing and you don't know,
because I know
what should I do?
I know your approach is to be like, what's wrong and how can we fix it? And I don't. That's what I have come to understand. I don't need anybody to fix anything for me. I can fix my own stuff.
Okay.
I am very capable of. And I think there was a time where like, oh, I need somebody to like come in and like save me. No, I don't need that. I just need people to just kind of be with me. And I feel like you come with judgment, not because you're a judgmental person, because you're like ready to like, you know, your brain is on, you're like turned on to it. Like, what should we do? But like I said, I can't articulate my feelings and that I don't need to talk about
So
things.
this might help. This is a
Well, I was gonna say that's that intuitive part of you, and I know, and that's like that's when you're coming to that situation with her. That's you being intuitive, so it makes sense why you popped up with that N on your.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, but the judgment part throws me off because I don't say anything.
Well, right. So that
But when you do try, I feel like not during those times. I feel like that's why I've learned to not spend those times with you.
So what do you mean by judgment, though? What do I say? Because I'm learning and I'm growing. Yes. What do I say?
It's. I don't know. I don't know what you say exactly. I just know how I feel afterwards. Where I'm just like, well, okay, actually, yeah. If you want to know,
I do.
Yeah. So I was, if you remember recently when I was driving in the car and having a panic attack, and you chose that time to be like, well, here's all the stuff you're doing wrong, like that led to this.
What did I say?
Just,
I don't remember.
Yeah. You were just like, well, you know. Because I know what I was doing wrong. So what happened is that I had a bunch of work piling up.
Oh, that's right. That's
yeah.
Right, yes.
So I had a bunch of work piling up. And, like, I was thinking about this when you said judgment, like the structuring thing. Like, I'll see one task and I'm like, I can't do that task. And my brain's like, I have to do it in this order. Like, I have to, like, start with this. And if I can't do this, then I can't finish the rest. Yeah. So I'll shut down when I have, like, a thing that I can't get over. And then I do nothing because, like, my tendency is to just, like, push things off and avoid them because I don't want to deal with that stress. So then I tend to procrastinate. Like, my perfectionist brain is just like, I have to do this perfectly. And if I can't do it perfectly, I won't do it at all. So I procrastinate a lot. And I will say that's on me. But like you just kind of
I did.
Yeah, you were.
Yes, I do remember that. You called me and you're like, I'm having a panic attack. I'm having an anxiety attack. And I'm like, but why? And then you told me all the things that you had to get done. But literally she was like in her room for like a week doing a whole lot of nothing. And so I'm like, you could have been doing these things within that time frame. So now you're stressed out because you didn't do anything. Yeah. And I don't know what you want me to do.
Yeah, and in those moments, it's really tough because you want to be that mom and be that and that's the intuitive side of you wanting to be helpful and being like, well, if you didn't do this, and when you're having that conversation with her, you're feeling like you're being very helpful because you're being like, well, next time you're trying to think for next time. Yeah. You probably like because you didn't even remember or like you didn't remember at the beginning because you didn't feel like you were being judgmental or rude when in the moment all that she really needed was for you to calm her down. That's why she called you. You're that person in her life that she comes to when she has that type. You're the first person she's going to call when something like that happens, and in that moment she needs you to be
understanding.
She needs you to be
and not try to fix because I'm like in the future this won't happen.
And that's a great conversation to have after the fact. After
not at the time.
Yes, after the situation has calmed. If that makes sense.
So here's a great exercise.
Okay.
You might tell me if you like this. So one, you heard what she needed as comfort.
Yes.
Okay. So what does comfort look like? So as fellow rescuers, recovering rescuers, so it's called the Kleenex test.
Okay.
Okay. So if I'm sitting next to you and there's a box of Kleenex right beside me, and I start telling you a very difficult story, and I break down and I'm crying, are you going to grab the Kleenex and hand it to me or tell me that I need to get the Kleenex?
I would hand it to you.
Yeah. So that's the part you're interjecting. You're trying to rescue.
Okay.
Because the Kleenex is right there. So if I needed the Kleenex,
you get it yourself.
I can get it myself.
Okay.
So when she's calling you, all she's wanting you to do is listen. And not say, don't you see the Kleenex right beside you? You could get it, or I'm going to get it for you, or because then the energy shifts away from her to you, which you don't even realize it. So that's that rescuer.
So, okay.
Does that make sense?
So I say nothing, I just listen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it can be as
Because there's a
simple
reason
as
she's calling.
But that's what empathy is. It's you befriend silence and just breathe with her. And be okay with, just like Davis likes to say, be okay with being okay.
Okay.
And just breathe and trust that she knows. Then she might, she might then say, okay, now Mom, like, can we just go on a walk?
Yeah.
But it's letting her kind of get in touch with what she needs. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because I feel like what ends up happening is when you do that, I'm aware of all of those things, and they're usually things that I'm like we were saying earlier, when I'm like, this is the things I'm doing wrong. So when someone else comes around, it's like, this is...
Yeah. No, I get it. No, I get that. I get it. And I think we're so similar, and I know I say this all the time, you don't like me saying it. So when I deal with anxiety attacks and panic attacks, I like to be alone. I'm not calling anyone. I'm not reaching out. And so when I do reach out, it's either to seek some kind of advice, because I kind of like to do things by myself. So I need to shift that thinking then, it sounds like, because you don't want my input. You just want me to be there.
I think I'm very, obviously I have mental health issues, but I have a very good understanding of them, and I know what I need, and I know what I need to fix.
Okay.
And I'm the one who needs to be like, to figure it out, because the way my brain works is like, if I am not, I like things to be my idea. When someone else is telling me to do things, it makes me not want to do them.
Yes,
but when it's my thing where I'm like, I need to like figure this out, I will.
Yeah.
So I don't really need anything. I don't really need anybody that at this point in my life.
She just wants
to learn to be quiet.
Well, do you know what shoulder time is?
Yes.
What shoulder time?
Like when someone's like leaning on you and no.
Just shoulder time is just being there.
Okay.
Like just sitting without talking. And you feel the person's presence. So just that in herself. So if she's just being vulnerable and crying, you're not stepping in to think like, well, what did I do wrong? Or how can I fix this? Or was this because they start to feel that energy?
I definitely want to fix it for her. Because I don't want her to see her sad.
Why?
Because I just want her to be, I don't know. I know sadness comes.
Okay, so I need to learn to hold sadness and comfort at the same time.
I get that. Because I get that. I do. I think, to me, it feels like she's more sad than happy a lot of the times. That's my perception. And so it's like, how can we be more happy than sad? Because sadness is going to come. It's part of our lives. So I'm trying to help her shift that, and I'm not doing a good job, obviously. Like, I want her to have more happy days than sad days, if that makes sense.
I think, because the only way I can think to explain this is like kind of going back to the personality test, but not this one, the Enneagram one.
The four.
Because I feel like I connect a lot with like my feelings. And so when I think someone comes in and is like, here's how we can fix that, it's like, here's how we can fix you.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. And it just makes me feel like, I'm the one who has the issue. Okay. Like, I'm the one who's the problem that needs to be fixed.
Okay. And that's not what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
Right,
No,
your intention, but
And also,
but that makes sense.
Yeah, she mentioned a mindset thing earlier. You're also in that moment. There's nothing from the past that can be changed. You're in that moment. And me being a sensing person, I have this mindset. So like, I get in this moment. There's nothing. Everything you're saying, whether it might be valid, but it's not in that moment. It carries no weight. All it does is bring. For her, like you say, you want her to have more happy days and sad days. Well, in that moment, you have the opportunity to turn that sad day into a happy day, and to create what could be a sad day and turn the rest of the day into a happy day for her.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying with that?
Yeah, I get that.
by just being.
Just by
no Kleenex.
which is
don't reach the Kleenex.
which is completely different.
Don't need a Kleenex.
Herself. I'm like,
yes.
I feel like I should like.
Okay, so have you seen the movie Inside
Out?
I
feel. You know what it feels like? I feel insensitive if I'm not. I'm just watching her cry. I'm not even trying to help her.
It's the rescue. That's why the clean.
So I'm just gonna sit here and watch her cry.
It's tough, but I mean that's you guys understanding each other. It's understanding that although you guys are very similar, the way you deal with some of that stuff is still different.
Yeah.
People, parents, and children think that they identify very similar sometimes, but there are times. We are all created uniquely and differently. So, I mean, she handles that different than you, whether or not you guys have the same personality type or what.
Okay.
So, it's understanding that, and now you guys do, and I'm glad you guys got that out. So, now you guys can look for the next time. You guys will see how that goes next time.
Okay.
And it's going to be tough for both of you guys.
Yeah.
It's going to be weird. It's going to be different. It's going to be weird for you, and it's going to be weird for her because she's going to be like, why is my mom reacting like this? Like, she's never just let me cry before.
I just have to sit here and watch her cry.
No, you can't have. Well, you could choose to have that thought, or you could choose to have a different perspective, which would be sadness. If you can just be still with that and just be okay, it's going to then bring about the joy because that's the connection.
You're 20, you're learning who you are, and I get that. I get it. So how, I guess she just needs to be sad. However often you want to be sad. And
what do you believe it means that she's sad?
That she's unhappy with her life, her surroundings, her family, her upbringing, like all of it. Like everything around her makes her sad. Like she can't find anything to.
No, it's just not. That's the problem with like my depression is there usually isn't a cause of it. It's just me just feeling that way. That's why I get confused because there is no cause of it. It's just what my brain chose to feel that day. It's not like a dissatisfaction. It's like that's all. Another frustrating part is like I'm surrounded. I think it's like the kind of mindset a lot of people with depression is. It's like, well, there's these good things happening around me. So like, why am I not happy? But it's like frustrating because like I do have a lot of ways I like to I like to create and I like to do, and I have a lot of outlets, but like, and I have a lot of good ways to get that kind of stuff out. But when I get in that place, I'm like, well, here's some good things that like I just feel like I can't do right now. And it's not like a lack of good things in my life. It's just
I have to understand that then.
Yeah.
Because anytime I've been depressed, it's been outside factors.
No, it's never really been. That's
like I could pinpoint it. I can pinpoint it to.
I can't. That's why I don't like the question. Like, why are you sad?
No, that makes sense.
I don't have a reason.
Yeah.
Have you seen the movie Inside Out?
Yes.
I love that because Joy's like, no, sadness go away, but they need to.
Yeah.
And it just shows like how similar you guys are, but yet there's differences there with that, and it's
no, and I do, but I feel like I just let her do her thing. So when I do
step in,
I'm doing the wrong thing, and I'm like I'm so hands off. It's crazy. Like I just
I've learned
like you come and go as you please. Like we have a few rules for you that are not that like we are so like.
Yeah.
This is your home. You come and go. Just respect certain boundaries.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what am I doing wrong? That's where I get my frustration. Like, what else can we do? So now I understand that it's not us.
No.
Okay.
When it's not about doing, it's about being.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's going
It's
to
just
that. It's like we're
not the doing, just
Yeah.
being.
Okay.
we're human beings, not human doings, and that's a big thing. And that's something we
even
just
for
talked
you.
about.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
You being that safe space for her is more than you can imagine for a kid going through something. I'm sorry, a young adult that's going through something. Sorry, I know. I call myself a kid too. I'm 22.
Like a kid, yeah.
I'm 22 and I still
call
feel like
myself
a kid.
I'm 51.
It's
I be a kid?
so important. It's crazy. Like what you do for her it's huge for someone at her age who needs just that safe space here for her to be able to cry, or even just come back to when she goes out, or you know what I mean. Just you being there, and those rules are great. Like those rules are fine, but like everything that you're doing for her, no, it's just
They're
great.
barely rules, but okay, yeah.
It's great and everything, because every single kid young adult that age needs something like that in their life. Just a safe space. Sorry.
I think if you shifted what am I doing wrong to what's going on, what am I doing right, might help. I don't know. Because y'all have got a sweet relationship.
Oh, I know what I'm doing right, but does she realize what I'm doing right?
I don't think she thinks she's. That's the problem that she was having. She doesn't feel like she's doing anything wrong. But you heard her. But you heard your daughter just then.
No. I do. In that instance, I did know that I did, because I could tell that I didn't give you the answer that you wanted in that moment.
Because I wasn't looking for.
I get that, and I think.
And now we've talked about that, and you understand it.
I get that.
That's a huge concept for anyone who's listening or whatnot, for people to understand, like that.
I forgot we were recording.
Yeah.
We're like on the cleanup.
That concept, I mean, of understanding.
That was a whole other show.
Well, I mean, we're talking about personalities, and so I feel like we're the same, quote unquote, the same, but we do handle things differently.
Yeah.
And when I was depressed, it was outside factors. So I'm like, what are these outside factors? Let's fix them.
Yeah.
Like, I wish someone would have come in and said, Leonette, what is it? Let's change it. And no one ever came to try to save me.
I think
I wanted the opposite. And I'm like, let's save. And so I'm doing it wrong. I shouldn't save.
I think there was a time when I needed that, but that's not what I needed.
Not today. Okay. No.
And I don't think I didn't know what I needed until, I think just the people I've been surrounding myself with lately has been great, because I was at a friend's house, the guy I was dating was there, there's some friend, and I just had I just get mood swings, so I just had just kind of a breakdown there, and then he was just holding me, and she was just like, hey, let's watch Camp Rock, and everybody was just I just need it to not be a thing. I think most of the time, because
don't draw attention to it.
Don't draw attention to it, but it's it doesn't have to be just this big bad thing. It doesn't have to be the worst thing in the world, because to me it kind of is, but I don't want it to feel that way, especially for the people. My thing with my mental health, I think that's why I isolate so much. I don't want it to affect anybody, and so I think it's nice when people are you are how you are, and you're feeling what you're feeling, and that's perfectly normal. And you I'm given that space to get that out, but also we can all still be in this space and it not have it affect, I think, and I definitely noticed that with how I kind of treat somebody, other people. If someone's in a bad mood, I protect my own energy, because I also don't want that to, I don't want to, as an empathetic person, I'm trying not to take everybody's stuff on as my own. So I'll still be be kind of happy, oh, here's some different things we can do, while still giving them that space. And I feel we treat the people how we want to be treated. So I think that's kind of what I would like from the people in my life as well.
Okay. I have thoughts on that, but
what?
That's another podcast.
Yeah, maybe that's another one we can wrap this one up.
No, okay, yeah. I think sometimes when your mood switches, there's no getting you back. It is as upbeat as I can be, where I've been sometimes. There's no getting you back.
I'm not saying I try to.
Yeah.
No one's responsible for anybody's happiness or emotions. I'm not asking people.
But like you shut down, like you just want to leave though. It doesn't matter.
I want to leave because I know you guys will be like. What you know, I know you guys will
be intuitive.
I think she's wanting. What she's wanting you to hear her say. Tell me if I'm correct. Is that let her have her emotions. Mm-hmm. You have your emotions. So if you're in a good mood, don't allow her sadness to put you in it. Like that now you've got to turn the light switch on and now you're sad and you're personalizing it, because then that just adds more. She's just just hold space, hold neutral space for her, and don't lose yourself, because that will enable her to be able to.
Because that just makes me feel guilty, I'm affecting people. That's why I have to go off by myself so people don't feel this.
Not ignore it, but just don't
respect it.
Yeah.
Davis will do that with me, because I can get very tired. Mm-hmm. I'll come home from work and I'm just because I'm the intuitive, and I'm just oh my God, I'm so tired, and I can't think, and I'm just I'm gonna be host gone to the bathroom, and so I'm kind of. I call it Pigpen, Charlie Brown and Snoopy. I get the Pigpen effect. I'm Pigpen, and he just lets me be Pigpen.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not well, mom's upset with me, or or what can I...
I don't let it affect me. That's a huge thing, because I understand her, and that's what...
Because it's me that I'm just processing out loud.
I know it had nothing to do with me. Mm-hmm. I know, and the thing
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, definitely. And my emotions are so fluid. When I say mood swings, I'll be in a great mood and then I won't be. But it works the other way too. I can shut down, but when I find I'll literally have been in the worst mood, but then I see something on TV and I laugh once, and I'm oh, I'm completely normal now.
No, I do notice that. Yeah, and I'm just
so I will.
I'm just what's happening? But I do notice both ways. Yeah.
I
process out loud.
Yeah, I just I will feel what I'm feeling, and I'm not going to hide it for anybody. I will hide myself, but I will not hide what I'm feeling for anybody. And it'll just go back. That's why I don't worry about it. That's why I'm perfectly fine being sad, because I know it changes so often that it'll be fine another minute from now,
I think No, I get it. I get it.
All on board.
No, I do, and it's just hard because I have 3 kids and with 3 different personalities, and it's I have to treat them so differently. So it's exhausting.
That's parenting.
For me as well.
Parenting can be hard.
Can we show some sympathy for the mommies too? It's hard. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Well, that's why I didn't.
And that's why I kind of do my own thing, because I know it's a lot, and I know you don't mean any. I know you don't mean any of it. I'm not even upset. I know you're.
We're gonna be good. Anyways, personalities.
Personality.
Wow.
This is 2 podcasts in one, so I might split them up.
We talked about a 30-minute one, and it turned into.
I'm gonna make it into 2. This was fun. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
You guys are amazing.
That was fun.
I can do this again.
No, it was so nice meeting you.
You guys are so much fun to talk to. So.
Aw. Well, we love talking to y'all
Let's do it again, because this is helpful for people.
Yes.
We'll just use me as a, as a guinea pig for the people. So no, thank you so much.
Well, you're an amazing.
All right.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks,
Bye.
Kay. Bye. This week's quote is from the book Brave Enough by Cheryl Strayed. Transformation doesn't ask that you stop being you. It demands that you find a way back to the authenticity and strength that's already inside of you. You only have to bloom. Thank you so much for listening to Virago 24/7. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and please give us 5-star ratings. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Virago24_7 and on Facebook at Virago24/7. and just connect with us and share your story. We'd love to hear from you.
Just give me my space to